What is going on, everybody? My name is Kneeckoh, and welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC Moveset Guide video. Today, we are living in an age in a format where stall is incredibly viable. More viable than I feel it's ever been in competitive Pokemon, at least in the time that I've played, because I started in Sword and Shield. But it is so good, and we're actually seeing hazards on the field. And GLIMMORA is the cause of this issue. GLIMMORA is the menace to society that is causing our Pokemon to be poisoned and pass away in the night. This Pokemon is seeing so much more use now that Regulation C is in play. It saw some use in Series 1 as well as Series 2 and has had some success, but I feel it's going to be even more powerful in Regulation C, and today I want to talk about why. If this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subscribed for more videos like this in the future, but let's get into it. GLIMMORA. This Pokemon is so cool. I think it's fantastic. Now, a lot of people probably don't like it because it adds hazards to the field. It does. Its ability, if you are hit by a physical attack, Toxic Spikes is laid on the field, and all the opposing Pokemon that switch in are now poisoned. That is incredible. This Pokemon is so freaking good for that reason. And it's the first time that we're really seeing like a spike in hazards being used in competitive Pokemon. I think there will be another instance of this a little farther down the line when Kleavor gets added. I think it's called like Stone Axe or something. Yeah, sets Stealth Rocks on the target side. Sets Stealth Rocks on the target side. This is really, really strong. And I think this will be the next instance of us seeing some form of hazards in VGC. But right now we have GLIMMORA, and it's incredibly good. It plays great into Dondozo. So when Dondozo switch in, it gets poisoned. It plays great into just anything because you can poison it and then just let it sit there. I mean, it's just an all-around really good Pokemon. And you're seeing a lot of use with it right now because of the existence of Wo-Chien. Wo-Chien, it makes this Pokemon even better because you just get everything poisoned. You set Wo-Chien on the field, you Leech Seed everything in sight, and then you just sit there. You sit there and you just absorb health and you don't care about what the other team is doing. You just stall the game. And it's an incredibly solid strategy right now, and it really scares me because I hate playing against it. It's a pain, but it's so good that I can't be mad that they're doing it. So in terms of GLIMMORA, there are really two sets that people are using right now. There's an Assault Vest set, and there's a Focus Sash set. Now, in terms of the EV spread, I don't know what people are running for Assault Vest. I really don't. It's not my preferred way to play GLIMMORA. I have been messing around with GLIMMORA. I've had a lot of success with GLIMMORA on the ladder. I don't know what people are running. It's something similar to this where you give it a little extra health, you give it a little more special defense, and you just take hits because, you know, really, if you take a hit from a physical attack, why do you care? You get Toxic Debris up, right? So people are bringing things like Bundle, they're bringing things like Gothitelle, anything that could do a special attack damage and knock out GLIMMORA are what people are bringing to deal with this and avoid the Toxic Spikes. So you want to have more special defense, right? It makes a lot of sense, especially if you just put it next to Wo-Chien. Your defense is already getting better because the opposing Pokemon are weaker. So it just makes sense in that regard. Mortal Spin is the move of choice here because this is going to hit both Pokemon and then poison them, which is great. It also frees the user from any hazards, Leech Seeds, things of that nature, which is really, really solid when you consider the fact that, you know, we are seeing GLIMMORAs, we are seeing Wo-Chien, so Leech Seed and Toxic Spikes are all over the place. Being able to remove them yourself is really, really good. Now, the Terra type of choice happens to be Grass. Grass is really good. You know, the main thing that you're going to see this Pokemon take hits from are going to be Psychic type attacks. Grass takes neutral damage from that, and then you're also going to see Ground type attacks. You take neutral damage from that. Water type, like I said, Bundle with a Hydro Pump can deal with this very effectively. Switching into a Grass type, you take that Hydro Pump very well. So this Pokemon, Grass is a very good Terra typing for. Now, my preferred way to play GLIMMORA is the Focus Sash set. Again, you're running Mortal Spin, Dazzling Gleam, Power Gem, and Spiky Shield here. Spiky Shield is nice because you immediately turn one, you just get out there, you Mortal Spin, you get everything poisoned, and then the next turn, you Spiky Shield. And you sit down and you wait, and you say, oh, what, are you going to hit me? Oh, take that extra damage, right? Then you rotate out, and you could just rinse and repeat. It's just a really fun way to play GLIMMORA. This is just a max special attack, max speed with a timid nature, 4 HP spread. Very, very solid. But this Pokemon is just super annoying to deal with because you're like, oh, if I kill this, I'm going to set my spikes on my side, and I am not happy about this scenario. Now, there are ways to counter this, and we will talk about that here in this video. We're also going to talk about the teammates that work very well with GLIMMORA, but I just think for the movesets, these two are just incredibly powerful, incredibly common, and work just really, really well right now. So let's start with teammates for GLIMMORA. Because you're out here stalling, you want beefy lads next to you. You want the beefiest, chonkiest Pokemon that you can imagine next to you. So Wo-Chien is one of the best because, like I said, you start the game, you get out there with GLIMMORA, you poison stuff, you weaken stuff, and then a couple Pokemon might go down, you know, depending on what you send out with it. Then you set up Wo-Chien, Leech Seed stuff, stall out the rest of the game. GG's, was fun. Hope to see you next time. You need to take a shower because you're toxic, right? It is foul, this combination of Pokemon. Now, another Pokemon that is so good, Ting-Lu. This was a wall. You cannot knock this Pokemon out. It is just so good, especially when paired with Wo-Chien. You sit here and you pollen puff your boy, and Ting-Lu just sits there on the field and just is annoying. You can spam like Fishers and just like hope you get one-hit KOs while everything else is dying in front of you with poisons and stuff. It's just really stupid, but it's so good. So like Ting-Lu with an AV is so good with this. Adamant Nature, give it a little bit of extra special defense. Boom, there you go. This is a really good Pokemon. This is a huge, powerful combination of Pokemon right here. Really, really good. So I think these are really good. Arcanine is another one that's really good. You're weakening that physical attack, so this Pokemon can get hit with a physical attack, especially if you're running the AV variant. You can get hit with a physical attack. You can get your spikes up without this Pokemon going down. Very, very solid option for this. Same deal with Wo-Chien with the Tablets of Ruin. You're able to weaken the opposing attackers and be able to just allow GLIMMORA to sit there and take a couple hits, get your spikes down, and then just deal massive poison damage the rest of the game. Really, really solid combination. Another Pokemon that goes incredibly well is Gothitelle with this, because you can sit there and you can shadow tag, you get your poisons up, you rotate Gothitelle in, and you just sit there and let the poison do its work, and they can't rotate away to like mitigate the damage, right? So you just let Gothitelle go, hi, how are you now? And you just sit there and watch them die from poison. It's really, really strong. It's really, really dumb. I can't stand it personally, but I'm not gonna, it's just good. There's no denying it's good. Garganacl, obviously, if you're talking about stall, you can't forget the man himself. Garganacl with Salt Cure just does wonders. You're able to sit there, Salt Cure stuff, let the poison, the Leech Seed, and the, you know, everything. The Salt Cure just do its work. These Pokemon are just wasting away in front of your eyes, and you don't care. You don't care. You just sit there and you laugh. You laugh because your Pokemon are so freaking bulky that it doesn't matter to you. But now we need to talk about Pokemon that GLIMMORA doesn't really like. GLIMMORA really doesn't enjoy the existence of these Pokemon. Now, for one, Ting-Lu. Now, you might be a little confused because Ting-Lu, like, I mean, obviously it's a ground type. You can hit it with Stompy Tantrum. You're likely going to OHKO it. It's just really good for dealing with it. However, you set spikes by doing this, which is kind of annoying. But this Pokemon's favorite Terra typing right now is Poison, in fact. It's Poison. Or, alternatively, if you're running this with another poison type, you don't have to worry about terrain. So, what the thing is with this is anytime a poison type Pokemon rotates in onto poison spikes, you're actually removing them from the field. So you don't have to deal with that hazard anymore. You don't have to worry about that. So that way you could go in with Ting-Lu and just kind of like, you know, smack it with a Stompy Tantrum, set the spikes, rotate something else in, eat up the spikes, and just keep doing work. Really solid way to get around GLIMMORA as a whole. And I think Ting-Lu is just super good for that reason, especially with your main Terra type being poison. Mortal Spin doesn't affect you. You don't have to worry about Mortal Spin, which I think is huge. Another Pokemon is Kingambit. Obviously, Steel types aren't affected by poison types, so you don't have to worry at all about this Pokemon, you know, getting out there and doing any sort of real poison work on you. You don't have to worry about that at all. Same thing with Corviknight. I'm actually seeing quite a bit of Corviknight pop up right now. And I think Corviknight's a really good Pokemon. I was considering bringing it with me to Fort Wayne. Still on the fence about that. But Corviknight is just incredibly solid right now because of the Pokemon that are available. You're able to sit in front of stuff. You're able to bulk up, Brave Bird, do all that fun stuff. Really solid option for a bulky Tailwind setter. And GLIMMORA, while this Pokemon doesn't do incredible damage, this favorite Terra typing is not very favorable into a Corviknight Brave Bird. Also, you're unaffected by poison, so it's just incredibly good into this particular matchup. Gothitelle as an opponent is not ideal for GLIMMORA. It's really not, because really what you could do is sit there and just like spam Psychics, and this Pokemon just like doesn't take Psychics very well. Obviously, if you're running the AV set, you take those a bit better, but you still don't like seeing Gothitelle on the opposing side because this Pokemon, yes, it can do damage, but it's not something that takes a lot of hits, especially from a physical attacker. So if you're able to like get out there with a Ting-Lu and a Gothitelle and just kind of sit there and Stomping Tantrum, Psychic it, and then rotate in a Poison type, you've lost all the advantage that you had with having a Glimmora, right? So it's something you really have to be careful about playing around. Amoonguss has the same deal, not necessarily for the fact that it does a lot of damage to Glimmora, but for the fact that it just removes the toxic spikes from the field altogether. So Amoonguss is great. If you see a Glimmora, it's pretty safe to bring your Amoonguss in the back, just to have it there to be able to sit and eat up the spikes and not have to worry about that the rest of the game. Really, really solid. Now, the big things that are your favorite to see with Glimmora, your favorite things to see, are going to be flutters. Flutter Mane is something you just do not care about. Flutter Mane is horrible into Glimmora. It has no real advantage unless it's running Terra Steel, Terra Blast, which not many are. This is the only way that this Pokemon deals with this effectively. The only way. You have to commit your Terra type and you have to Terra Blast it. It's the only way that this Pokemon deals with it well. And its favorite item right now happens to be Focus Sash. So, you come out here with your Mortal Spin, you poison the Flutter Mane, and then what does it do? It loses its Focus Sash, and then it gets bought by a physical attacker. It's very, very good. It's just, it deals with Flutter Mane so incredibly well. Other Pokemon, Arcanine, really doesn't like this because, one, you have Power Gem, and you actually have a really high base special attack. So you just go out there and Power Gem and Arcanine, and it hates it. It hates it so much, especially if you are running Energy Ball as well, and it tears into, like, Water or something, or even Dark, which is another favorable Terra type for Arcanine. You have Dazzling Gleam, and you have Energy Ball. Arcanine just really doesn't play that great into that. So those are my thoughts on Glimmora. I think it's just an all-around really cool Pokemon. I'm not a huge fan of the design personally, but all in all, I think it's a great competitive Pokemon. Much like Goldango, where like the design's whatever, but I love it in competitive. So I think this is just a really cool Pokemon. I love seeing the use of hazards in competitive play. I think it's super, super cool. And it definitely serves a purpose, especially when looking at things like Dondozo. Oh, how could I even forget? Another teammate for this, Dondozo. Sorry, I have to throw this in, go on a little tangent here at the end. Dondozo Tatsugiri plays so well with Glimmora. You can just go out there and poison stuff, weaken stuff, get them lowered, then let Dondozo clean up the rest of the game, right? You can sit out there and you can Terra Grass, substitute, order up an Earthquake, and it's GG, right? So Dondozo, just briefly wanted to cover that. Dondozo plays so good into this. But Glimmora is great. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video at any point, leave a like and subscribe for daily competitive Pokemon content from me in the future. If you want to join a really fun community of people always hanging out, super helpful, super nice, just love playing Pokemon together, check out the Discord. And if you want to see more from me, check out this video where I talk about Gothitelle and why Gothitelle is going to be great in Series 3. Highly recommend you check that one out. Check out this video where I used a Gothitelle team on the ladder from Series 2. So cool. And then also check out this Ting-Lu team that I've been using on the ladder. The casual ladder, that is, because we don't have the official ladder yet, and I've just been goofing around with it. I really enjoy it. But until next time, peace.